Welcome to B-Ride Story Time with Synkro Racing Syndicate. Today's story is about the P6 motor and why the most aggressive performance riders might have cause for concern.
Wow, look at that.
Yes, look at that. I was at the track by myself training for TEF1 when my P6 abruptly cut out. The Inmotion rep this time was telling me I overpowered the wheel. It cut out on the straight and it dipped and it never recovered from the dip. I've over-torqued this wheel before and it recovered from the over-torque, but this time it just straight dropped me. I sustained severe road rash on both my elbows.
Looks horrible.
Oh, it's terrible. This is the most amount of road rash I've ever gotten. My exo frame from Power Knobs did a pretty good job of protecting the rest of the wheel, but there's only so much you can do when a wheel cartwheels at high speed. My wheel sustained pretty heavy damage. There was mechanical compression on the top cover that pressed the battery connector into some capacitors on the driver board. The control board holder, the threads are stripped because the bolts were twisted. Side shell twisted as well from the impact. The pedal was stronger than the hanger, and so it caused the hanger to bend and caused the side shell to bend.
The speed was high, right? How fast were you going?
Well, motion representatives told me that when I cut out, I was doing 94 kilometers an hour.
Why did you have to ask Inmotion representative? You couldn't check yourself?
No, I can check myself on the riding logs, but I can only see my top speed for that session.
Oh, which is gonna be like free speed after crash, right?
Usually no. Usually the P6 is smart enough to like just give you the real speed. It doesn't give you a free spin speed, but it only tells you your top speed. It doesn't give you your second by second information of that session or that riding log.
Oh, so you don't have access to that?
I don't have access to that, no. Okay. So I needed to request that for the Inmotion. And I sent them the logs because I wanted to find out why I crashed, right? Like when I picked up the wheel, it balanced, but there was a weird jitter in the motor. It didn't balance right. So like I went back to the city, I went to hospital, got myself treated while the team took apart the wheel and inspected for damage. And I took the motor straight to my motor tech. He's an electrical engineer with experience rewinding BLDC hub motors, and he's also just a very technical minded person. The Inmotion rep this time was telling me I overpowered the wheel.
Overpowered?
I pulled too much battery current and I pulled too much phase amps.
And so what it does, it just shuts off the wheel?
Apparently it just shuts off. I don't know.
Software shut off, right?
Well, I've overpowered this before and it just dips and catches you, but this time there's no catch.
So after you crashed, you just picked up the wheel, you didn't have to turn it on, right? It was on.
It was already on.
So basically, the software shuts off the power, right? It was no warning?
No warning.
No warning, no beeping, no tilt back, nothing, right?
Nope. I was concerned about motor temperature heat because I thought that might have been a contributing factor to over-torquing this wheel. And like I was doing research and finding out that like a hot motor has more resistance in the coils, so you have less available torque. I thought maybe that's why I over-torqued it. Maybe that's how I overpowered it. The Inmotion rep told me that I only hit 150 Celsius, which is the over-temp alarm, as it cut out, shortly after it cut out. And that's why when I got off the ground and I went to pick up my wheel and I pushed it back, I didn't hear any beeping from it. Because it had already cooled down at that time.
Okay, but normally it beeps, right? If it's
normally once you hit over temp alarm, it beeps until you drop, I believe, below 130 Celsius, or something around that range. I have not experienced my P6 shutting off. I've just experienced it beep and then tilt back, and then until it cools down to, I believe, below 135, it does not stop tilting back. Back to the motor. Motion representative said it was not due to overheat. I just overpowered it at 94 kilometers an hour, which is silly to think about for a wheel that's advertised of doing 149. And I asked for the logs to examine myself, but as you indicated, Inmotion does not. Well, they didn't provide me logs at that time at any rate. They just showed me a table of like the last second or so before it happened and the different phase amps and battery current.
I don't think I've ever seen online anyone had full logs from the wheel at any moment. I think it's usually just
whatever Inmotion tells you.
Like few lines, like stripped out of like, most of the data. It's just like, oh, that's the speed record, or oh, that's, you know, temperature or something, right?
Yeah, I think that's accurate, but other people can chime in if Inmotion has sent you the full logs of your ride before. Next day, my technician opened this up, and as you can see, there's severe burn marks everywhere. And I'm not a technical person, but that's why I invited Mirwald over here to explain what happened to this motor. Because just for clarification, Mirwald is not the technician that opened up or examined this motor. Mirwald's just here to explain or to communicate with you what the technician communicated to us.
Yeah. In eyes of Inmotion, this is not overheated, right?
Well, according to the temperature sensor, it only hit 150 when this happened, right?
According to temperature logs, this is...
So this couldn't have overheated.
Yeah. So according to Inmotion initial assessment, this is not an overheated motor. We can only speculate what caused all this damage, but you can clearly see all the windings are just wires just hanging here. It's all damaged. I think it all starts from...
Oh,
that's
a retaining ring.
That's a retainer.
As you can see, there's like several loose ones around.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I think it all starts from the design, right? According to our tech, it's well designed to be a heater.
Thermostat on the wall, or do you put the thermostat on the coils of the heater? So in this scenario, the thermostat was put on the coils of the heater.
So it's a good motor for maybe some
Siberia
like winter applications.
Yeah, maybe that's why the Russians like it.
Probably, or maybe because they get it on a discount, right, from day one. Yeah, so this is designed to be a heater. Maybe that's the start of this problem, right? That's where the heat comes from, the motor design. The coating they use, if it's cheap, right, it cannot sustain high temperatures. So it delaminates, it starts cracking, and the retainers, they start coming off, plus the constant heat cycles where the metal expands and shrinks, and they all start coming off, maybe like that on the speed. And then it's still like chopping it inside the motor, and then all these debris start flying around, and that's how this get cut.
That got cut, that created a short. According to our technician friend, that it can still balance, just it probably can't hold you up. I saw what happened at full send with Brian Dillard when his motor cut out as well. And he jumped on immediately afterwards and cut out like 2 meters away. I didn't want to take that risk, especially when I was already so injured.
Well, it's good to learn from someone else's mistakes, right? Yeah. Not shit like that.
Well, I'm learning from this one later.
I hope someone will learn from Brian's mistakes. There will be, I guess, your later points, right? But let's get back to design of this motor and check out how loose all these windings are. Look, like I don't think like even like I've seen Inmotion motors before, right? And it was not that bad.
This is the MSP motor winding.
MSP, so MSP is like what, 5 years old? All tight. Good tension. And this is
the P6.
2026.
Hey, be careful! I gotta ride this.
Scary motor.
Be careful. We actually had a second motor that was almost brand new, and our technician also compared how tight the winding was. Yeah. He said he knows it was like tighter, so he suspects that because the varnish is weakening, that causes the retaining rings to come loose. That this winding is getting looser.
So, and then we have, I just want to flip it on this side. Then we have the position of NTC probe, of like temperature sensor, right? So the way it's positioned, it's all covered with this silicone, which is, it's not some temperature conductive compound. This is actually insulating.
Yes,
compound.
It insulates the temperature.
Yeah. So it insulates the sensor here. So the result of that is when this overheats, by the time it gets to the sensor, it's too late. The motor is already super hot and all this damage starts, right? So when you hear the alarm on the app,
at 150 Celsius, which Inmotion had determined was the safe limit.
That is like fake. That's not what you have here.
Is the winding insulation at around 200 degrees Celsius starts to break down, and a motor could potentially short circuit. Now, we want to, of course, prevent these, because if any of those do occur, it would result in catastrophic failure.
And that's considering, because before what Inmotion did, I don't know if you heard that, before people would get lots of alarms, they said they put it too close to the heat source that it's not accurate.
Yes.
So they calibrated the sensor so it's more accurate, meaning it was hitting it was showing high temperatures too often, so people cannot ride. They just drop the readings, so it's still, this temperature hasn't changed, right? The same current goes through the same motors, through the same windings. They just change what it shows on the screen.
We created a new limit in the software at 170 degrees Celsius using the sensor fusion so that riders can be safe and not have to worry about cutouts or their motor burning out.
So when they're insulated, they're not getting an instant read of the temperature.
Yeah.
You're getting a delayed reading.
Average,
And it might not ever read the peak because the peak is only for a moment and then it goes down. In my experience, when I have hit the overheat alarm, it triggers at 150. It might go up as high as 157, but I don't know how high it actually went. So hopefully it was below that 170 mark that they said is safe, because they said the stator can withstand up to 200 Celsius or 202 Celsius for catastrophic failure.
It would result in catastrophic failure and potential cutout and injury of the rider.
Who said?
The Inmotion rep. And
You mean like the stator, the metal itself, or the varnish, the windings?
I think the varnish and the windings, I believe.
Well, I don't see that's true, because look at that, right? Anyways, it's completely insulated, like the way it should be. Like this temperature sensor should be sitting on some thermal interface that transfers heat fast and gives you proper readings. This is completely insulated, gives you just averages, hides the peaks. Probably not all the riders can experience this, right? Because you are a very hardcore rider.
I'm a track rider.
You are a very hardcore track rider, and the amount of stress you put on the wheel is phenomenal.
It's higher than a typical P6 owner.
Yeah.
I actually just met a P6 owner today when I was picking something up. And he actually had a hall sensor error with his motor, which is why he was in and taking his P6 to the shop. But he just said, I'm just like cruising around town at 50, 70 kilometers an hour. And so that type of rider will never have an overheat issue. The P6 is more capable of doing 50, 70 kilometers an hour. But because this is the fastest EC available, that's rated to do 149 kilometers an hour as per the, let's say, promotional material. I push it to roughly like 100-ish kilometers an hour at the track. That's how fast I can get on the straight. I can't get much faster than that.
Leaving you with at least 35% margin.
PW. Usually I'm in the high 70s when I'm hitting the max speed at the track. But that's plenty of headroom, right?
Your usage is way above
it's
average.
more extreme than most users. Yes,
that's how it's marketed, right? As a performance wheel.
It's marketed as a performance wheel, and the marketing around the motor overheat was like, listen, we did the testing, we found out this is what the stator can withstand. This is what we determined to be safe, 170. This is what we're saying the overheat alarm, 150. Yeah. Is that 150 the right number?
They market it as the most efficient wheel, right?
I don't know about efficient, but...
Thanks to our high voltage platform, efficiency improves to just 25 watt hours per kilometer, a 10% boost compared to traditional systems.
That's what it says, that it's 10% more efficient than a regular design, like referring to competitors, right? So efficiency and heat are
heat is
enemies.
not efficiency.
So if you have heat, that's a loss, and that's not efficient at all. And here we got a heat to the point.
We have a heater. We have a space heater. So the next day when I sent these pictures of this to the Motion rep, the first thing the Motion rep asked me is if I've ever had Statorade. And no, this is a stock motor. It's never been opened. I believe that they asked if I use Statorade is because if I modded the motor,
that would void the warranty.
That would void the warranty. And I offered to ship this motor back to them for inspection so they could have checked if I had Statorade. They said no, pictures okay.
I think it's tricky, right? Because you design the motor and I'm pretty sure they run some tests, so they knew it overheats, right? But so basically, you design something that overheats, and then you punish people who try to.
Some people might say that's a design flaw.
But it cannot be design flaw that you're trying to add a Statorade.
No, the motor overheating.
Yeah, it's a design flaw, but allow people to fix it, right? For example, with a Statorade, and don't void the warranty.
I can agree with voiding a warranty due to modifications, but this means that you need to fix the underlying issue, which is the motor is not efficient. The motor just generates heat. It's very fast, it's pretty torquey, and it's hot as fuck.
So maybe a global recall.
That would be too expensive, right? They don't have good options.
Oh, I think they can afford. Like this wheel, you know, the parts cost is like around 1,200, right? The EXW cost is 2,800. So I think they have lots of room for a recall. And motor is like maybe $400.
They're selling on their website for $310 US. You know, I'm sure maybe it's like $150 US or something, or somewhere between $150 and $200 US.
So I don't think it's a big deal, right?
Motor stock cutout due to short in the motor, caused current spike, battery, phase amps, and once again, as you mentioned, I don't think most owners of the P6 will experience this issue. Most owners of the P6 are probably just happy cruising 50 to 70 kilometers an hour. They just want a wheel that they know that won't drop them at those speeds. They're probably not even torquing to those speeds as hard as possible. But I'm a little concerned about the safety of performance riders. There's already a bunch of people who complain about overheating the P6. And if we're correct, which here's the proof, each time you overheat the P6, it adds another, it's cumulative damage. And if we're correct, because I don't actually hit the overheat alarm that often, I hit the 130 to 140 alarm, the pre-alarm, pretty often, right? Where if you turn off your P6 and you turn it back on, and it's in the 130 to 140 range, it'll actually like do the overheat warning. But I don't hit the 150 limit. So you're in that range too. I think you're also doing damage to the P6 because I'm frequently in that range when I pull off the track. And I'm pulling off at that range because I didn't trust the 150 number either. I thought 130 was a safer number.
Mark ran this test over 100 times and he found that the sensor fusion calculation within the motor was not accurate. And that is why we kept seeing these overheating tiltbacks. And he updated the sensor fusion calculation inside the wheel so that the software showing the temperature would be accurate to the safety limits of the motor.
Would you recommend people taking the motor apart and at least checking?
If you're a performance rider, I think you gotta think for your safety. I'm afraid like this might void an Inmotion warranty, but if you're overheating your motor frequently, I do think you need to open it up and check. It doesn't have to be all the time. It doesn't have to be after every overheat, but maybe inspect it once every 2-3 months or something. I don't think you can take the risk of this happening. And of course, if you are that type of performance rider who is frequently getting the motor hot, but not hitting that overheat alarm like myself, because I most often don't hit the overheat alarm, wear the right gear. The reason why I'm so badly injured is because I did not have the right gear on. This year, the only time I fall into the track was due to overpowering the P6, and it's only been twice, and this is the second time.
I think you build some false confidence with this wheel, right? Because you've been riding like a few times a week, right? You go to the track.
I go as often as the team wants to go. And whenever they want to go, I go. And so I literally had thousands of laps. It's measured in over 1,000.
You thought, okay, it's good, right? It doesn't cut out.
Well,
like
I've overpowered it, but I didn't cut it out.
Do we have any statement from Inmotion about that? Because
Inmotion is keeping very quiet right now. They're not talking very much to my dealer. Maybe viewers of this should ask this question: is what can I do to the motor to inspect it for damage to make sure I don't have this type of catastrophic failure? Because adding Statorade, like I'm pretty sure already they're gonna say no. And what happened was, this motor overheated. This motor, the 150 alarm, I do not believe is sufficient to protect against damage. And I believe that this is a potential ticking time bomb if you are a rider that frequently gets it hot. Now I've been hitting the overheat alarm. Now I've been hitting 150. If you are in the 130 plus range, then I believe you're doing cumulative damage to this motor. And that's why we're releasing this video, is so people know, and that people make sure you wear your safety gear. I couldn't wait for Inmotion. I had to buy another P6 because I got a race this weekend.
Sorry, what is the retail price of P6 in Canada?
The retail price of the P6 is 5,000 US or 7,000 Canadian.
And you had to buy a new one.
I had to buy a new P6 because Inmotion has not answered me about what they're doing with this warranty. Like, the only thing I have heard from a Inmotion rep is that they will warranty the motor. Meanwhile, I have a damaged control board. I have a damaged frame. I have a damaged holder. Damaged kickstand, damaged trolley, damaged top cover, damaged pedal hanger, damaged, what else was broken? Damaged pedal, damaged axle frame, damaged pads, damaged gear. We should conclude this video.
To conclude, it's sad that it happened, first of all, to
it's sad that it happened.
With your, I hope you heal fast. Luckily, nothing is broken, right?
Nothing's broken. Luckily, it was just a slide. I'm thankful that it happened before TEF1. Because imagine this happened during a race, then I'm really screwed because I definitely can't get another wheel in time. And if it happened in the middle of a race, I might have been doing more than 94 kilometers an hour. I might have been doing 120. The Inmotion guys are doing 120 in the races.
But yeah, it was a good experience, I guess, for you.
No, it's
overall
not good. It's just better than some other possibilities. It wasn't good. Ideally, this never happens, and I don't have a fried motor.
Well, that's not the case. And,
no, that's not the case.
Do you expect it to not have this issue?
Well, I'm going to be more conscious of what the temperature is. I'm going to be running apps in order to warn me when it hits 110 or so. So, because there's creep as well. So it hits 110, it's probably going to creep up to 120 or so. And I'm hoping that that's going to be a safe limit. But really, we don't know what the real safe limit is. Inmotion did not do adequate testing in order for us to find out with repeat heat cycles what a real safe limit is. I'm sure they tested it. I'm sure it was fine the first time. I'm not sure it'll be fine the 10th time or 20th time or 30th time or 40th time. And like, we're kind of just guinea pigging here. And I just want to warn performance riders, like, hey, this might happen to you if you are getting your motors hot. Be careful here. Set some more conservative alarms because the Inmotion alarm's not conservative enough. That, or like they have, is either that or like the motor I got was faulty. I don't know. Right? Maybe the motor I got, maybe the thermistor was in a completely wrong place.
I think everyone is having issues with the temperature.
Everyone's having issues with the temperature, but I'm the first person to fry one, as far as I know. Maybe I have a faulty motor. Maybe you guys.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
I think
I don't want that prize. Can I return it?
Still, man, it means you ride so hard, right? I think they should send you a separate award.
Not a P6 badge of honor.
No.
What type of badge of honor would I get?
Well, you get badge of honor as well. We have to create a name for it, but it basically has to be a badge of honor for the person who bought P6, burned the motor, and then bought another one.
I bought the second one not out of. I bought the second one out of duress. Let's put it that way. Out of duress. I have no other option. I need to race this weekend.
I think that's the best. That's the best you can do for now, right?
For now.
We're gonna communicate all this from all sides. So basically, you try to contact Inmotion.
I got my chart that details a few seconds before I cut out. I got a bullshit explanation for my cutout, and
which is over torque, right?
Which was over torque, but no, it was a motor short circuit, and I got told to talk to my dealer, figure out what they're gonna do.
So we have you contacted your dealer, is in touch with Inmotion now. Now we will make release this video. Hopefully people can see, right, and push the company forward to
push them to do better.
Yeah.
As this isn't better, this is the same.
Well, I've seen Inmotion motors, other motors like V12, V11. It wasn't like that.
So you're saying it's worse?
It's worse. But again, sometimes you know how manufacturing in China works. Like you order one thing,
you get a good batch, then you get a bad batch. Which is why I'm saying like maybe this is a bad batch. I have no idea. I don't know. Inmotion, go investigate. You're the only people that can tell me. I'm just speculating that the 150 alarm was no good. Maybe you got a bad batch of motors.